It's time for Colorado to quit screwing around and make Deion Sanders one of the highest paid, if not the highest paid coach in college football, and I'll explain why.
You are Locked On Buffs, your daily podcast on the Colorado Buffaloes, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome to Locked On Buffs. I am your host, Kevin Borba. Today's episode is brought to you by the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day for free and available wherever you get your podcasts. So thank you for making me your first listen of the day, and thank you for liking, subscribing, and following. If you aren't an everydayer, you should become one. Those are the people that make the show happen. Those are the people who comment, they subscribe. We have a lot of fun chatting about the Buffs. And my latest take is Colorado is not doing enough to keep Coach Prime in Boulder. Now, I'm not going to pretend like the offer that they put on the table isn't probably a really good one. But when you have someone like Deion Sanders, you don't send out the really good offer, right? You send out the great offer. You send out the perfect offer. You send out the offer where it's like, we're probably offering you too much, but it's worth it, right? Coach Prime currently ranks, and this is according to the USA Today, based on this was heading into the 2024 season. It was last updated in October, so middle-ish of 2024. Coach Prime ranked 38th in the country in salary, behind Mike Locksley at Maryland, behind Dave Dorn at North Carolina State, Sherrone Moore at Michigan, Greg Schiano, Shane Beamer, Sam Pittman, ahead of guys like Jeff Brom, Chris Kleiman, Sonny Dykes, Mac Brown, Dave Clawson, guys like that. Is Deion Sanders the most proven coach in college football? No, I'm not going to pretend he's not. However, the impact that Deion Sanders has had on this program needs to be rewarded, and you need to show him, hey, we fully believe in you. We fully don't want you to leave. We know you have other opportunities, probably better opportunities, right? The Dallas Cowboys job is one of the most attractive jobs in sports. And if they're knocking on your door, we know that they are interested in you. We know that's a tough offer to turn down. We know that you have another chance to coach your sons. That being said, if you're Colorado, you cannot mess this up. You cannot lose Deion Sanders by any means. And so if that requires you to take a shot on him, take a chance, maybe overpay him, if you will, I think it's worth it, because in reality, one, it'll pay itself back off. Two, Deion Sanders has completely transformed this program in a way that I don't think is talked about enough. So I'm going to talk about it. Just last year, 2023, and I'm sure the number grew in 2024, Deion Sanders brought in $113.2 million into the local economy in Boulder. Boulder's popping. They saw an increase in people applying to Colorado. They saw more diversity, which they said they didn't know if it was attributed to Deion Sanders. We know what it is. 8 million viewers tuned in to watch him play against BYU. That was the most watched bowl game outside of the college football playoff games. Obviously, BYU played a factor in that, but people wanted to watch Coach Prime, right? They want to watch him play, or not play. I'm sure they'd love to watch him play. They want to watch his team play. They wanted to watch his team win, lose, whatever it is. People are tuning into Colorado. They're one of the most watched teams in college football. Colorado, before Deion Sanders, had 19 wins in the 5 seasons leading up to his first year. Deion Sanders is already at 13 wins. He'll probably hit 19 next year. He is taking this program to another level. He has their highest AP ranking since 2016, and it's only the second time that Colorado finished ranked in the college football playoff rankings. Right? Beginning to end success for Colorado. He signed 3 of Colorado's top 6 highest ranked recruits in program history, with Julian Lewis being the highest ranked quarterback in program history. Jordan Seaton obviously is a cornerstone of the program. Left tackle, he's a superstar, was named a freshman All-American by the Football Writers Association of America. Cormani McClain didn't work out in Boulder. I still think he would have been a really good player. I think there was some growing up to do. I think it was more of a Cormani thing rather than a Coach Prime thing. And all of this to say, if you're Colorado, why would you not want to take a chance on Deion Sanders, right? You offer him a big contract and you throw in a huge buyout, right? If he leaves, great. We're going to profit off him leaving. That's just how the business works. It's the same reason that Bill Belichick has a $10 million buyout if he leaves before, I think it's June 1st, right? If he leaves after June 1st, it's like $1 million, right? So you offer him big money and you put in a big buyout, right? You offer him whatever it takes, whether it's more money for the coaching pool. You offer him more NIL support, right? Colorado's sort of changing things up in terms of NIL. They're going to play their players directly. You offer them the money to do so. You offer whatever Coach Prime wants. If he wants a parking spot, give him a parking spot. If he wants a mountain named after him, give him a mountain named after him. Colorado, and I think people forget this, and there's like this weird sort of energy amongst certain fans where it's like, if he wants to go, he wants to go. No, you don't let that happen, right? Because if Deion Sanders leaves Colorado, this program will crater, right? All the players that Coach Prime brought in will leave. All the success that he's been building, all the momentum that he's building, the fan base, the interest, the passion, it's not going to all disappear, but it's not going to be the same, right? And you do not want to go. That 1-11 season was dark, right? I don't know if people remember it because a lot of people, quite frankly, are new to watching Colorado football because obviously Coach Prime, hello. But I was working at the Pac-12 networks that year, and Colorado was legitimately like awful. Like we whoever got the Colorado game that was making the highlights was like, okay, this will be easy. They're gonna lose by 30. My highlight will be done by halftime, so I could go enjoy my catered Chipotle or whatever food they gave us, which they always hooked it up. It was really cool. But whatever it was, people were like, oh, yes, Colorado game. I'm gonna get this done. Blah blah blah. Bang, bing, boom. Like that's how bad Colorado was, right? They were storming the field after winning one game. They were 1-11. There was no hope. They were forgotten, right? If Coach Prime isn't there, which I think I should have put this in my notes, does Colorado get into the Big 12? Or is Colorado more like in the Stanford and Cal situation where all of a sudden it's like, hey, we want to go to a big conference too? Or are they like Oregon State and Washington State where it's like, well, you guys, I mean, luckily Colorado's in a decent market, but if Colorado, say, had Carl Durrell at the helm still, does Carl Durrell get Colorado into the Big 12? Does the Big 12 want Colorado at all? We won't know that because obviously that's not how things played out. But Coach Prime has helped this program in so many ways that Colorado needs to figure out a way to repay him. And I think there's this notion that he hasn't accomplished much at Colorado, so why would you make him one of the highest paid coaches? Well, you're not wrong, right? You are not paying someone based on the amount of wins he has, because right now he's 13-12, I think, across 2 years. You're paying someone based on the potential, based on the impact, and based on the direction of the program. And all three of those categories are trending in Colorado's favor, right? They just had a 9-win season. They have a 5-star quarterback who could lead this program to glory for years to come. They are getting transfers left and right, and the quality of the transfer this year and last year is worlds better than the first transfer portal class that he brought in, right? He's bringing in coaches, a higher quality coaching staff. Robert Livingston was one of the best hires in college football. Pat Shurmur, don't love the hire, but it was a solid hire, right? He's done his job. So Coach Prime has done so much for this program that you are hiring under the assumption that he's going to continue to trend up. And if he decides that this isn't for him anymore, well, that's what buyouts are for, right? That's why you sort of invest and take a risk. Sometimes you have to risk it to get the biscuit, as they say. So if Colorado, I don't think they're going to lose Coach Prime, but I feel like there needs to be more of an effort, more of a public effort to keep him happy, right? His sons are no longer there. He's no longer anchored down. And I think some people are viewing this as he's not going to leave to go follow his sons. He already said it. Coach Prime opened the door for that. I don't know if it's going to be this year, next year, the year after, but he has opened the door to coaching in the NFL by saying, I want to coach my sons, and I would coach my sons in the NFL, right? The Dallas Cowboys, he's reportedly a top candidate. So if you're Colorado, you throw the kitchen sink at him, throw out the best offer possible. You cannot go to bed one night in a random, like, say, January night or February night and be like, you know what? I wish we would have done this for Coach Prime. I wish we would have offered. You throw the kitchen sink at him. You offer everything humanly possible. And if he decides to leave with your best offer on the table, well, then he was just never meant to be in Boulder, right? I think sometimes when we love things, we have to let him go. And for Coach Prime, if he decides to go, then that's simply up to him. If you're Colorado, you cannot let it be like, well, he wanted a lot of money and we weren't. You cannot let that happen. So this is my petition, my speech, if you will, my plea, if you will, for Colorado to make something happen. Do something. Do more than what you're doing. If you're already doing a lot, I promise you're not doing enough. So Let's make something happen. If you're Colorado, if you're Rick George, invest in the program and invest in your school so that way it's successful for years to come. When we come back, I'm going to be talking about Shedeur Sanders playing into the Dallas Cowboys noise. And again, talk about why I don't think the move makes a lot of sense, even though people want to really push that narrative. This episode of Locked on Buffs is brought to you by Wayfair. After the holiday hustle, there's nothing like giving your home a little TLC. I always find that decluttering and refreshing my space helps me get back into a routine. Whether you're tidying up, clearing out, or you just want to give your space a new look to start the year, Wayfair has many things, and they have everything you need, all within your budget. I'm currently looking for furniture because obviously your boy's getting married. So we're going to get a house. We got furniture to get, and we want to have an easy place to find pieces that fit my style and our budget. And my favorite part, the free and hassle-free delivery, even for the larger items. Wayfair's site is so easy to navigate, and I found everything I needed in no time. There's something for every style and to every home, no matter your space or budget. Wayfair makes it easy to tackle your New Year's home goals with endless inspiration for every space. So give your home the refresh it needs with Wayfair. Head to wayfair.com right now. That's WAYFAIR.com. Wayfair. Again, that's wayfair.com. Wayfair. Every style, every home. Welcome back to Locked on Buffs. Appreciate you guys for tuning in every single day, making me your first listen of the day. We are free and available wherever you get your podcast. Make sure to like, subscribe, and follow so that way you don't miss out on a moment of the coverage, because let me tell you, there's a lot of things going on in Boulder. There's a lot of things happening in prime town, if you will. Maybe rename the town. Maybe that's what'll get them to stay. I don't know. Do something, right? If you guys didn't know this, and I said it a little bit in the first segment, Colorado's head coach Deion Sanders is viewed as a top candidate for the Dallas Cowboys. He played there, won a Super Bowl there, is an NFL Hall of Famer. Jerry Jones is an absolute psychopath. And I think if there was any coach who would hire a college football coach who has, 14 games. Why can't I do math? Who has, 12 last year, 14 or 13 this year, 25 games under his belt at the Power 4 level, it'd be Jerry Jones, right? Jerry Jones is a sicko for attention. He's a sicko for being the biggest story possible, and he loves the energy being around him and his team. So Deion Sanders to the Dallas Cowboys makes a lot of sense from that perspective. He played there. Jerry Jones wants the attention. That being said, I think there's a lot of things that are working against the move, but Shedeur Sanders he played into the noise a little bit last night. And I know everyone's going to say they're from Dallas. Yeah, they're from Dallas. Well, guess what? I don't think Shedeur's stupid. I don't think Coach Prime's stupid. I don't think whoever their management is, I don't think they're stupid, right? I think they are quite aware what the optics look like. You think Shedeur wasn't aware of what the optics look like when he was posting social media stories of the Raiders stadium or talking to Mark Davis or having New York Giants cleats? You don't think he's aware? You don't think he's aware that him showing up sidelines to a Dallas Mavericks game after his dad had been linked the day before to the Dallas Cowboys? You don't think he's aware? So I wanted to address it. And this is no criticism of Shedeur, Coach Prime, or whoever their agencies are. They know how to maintain a storyline. They know how to stay in the headlines. They know how to maximize a story. And I think that's exactly what this is. I think some people want to be like, okay, Coach Prime to Dallas, here we go. And it's like, I don't think it'll happen, right? I laid out why it probably won't happen yesterday, and I'll do it again. Dallas just re-signed Dak Prescott for a 4-year, I think $250 or $260 million deal. That deal takes place next year. That first year of the deal is next year. If they were to trade him, they'd have $104 million in a dead cap hit. Jerry Jones was pissed about having a dead cap hit for Ezekiel Elliott. You think he's going to want to do that? It was like $6 million. You think he's going to want to have $104 dead cap hit for Dak Prescott? We just re-signed? I doubt it, right? Colorado. The Dallas Cowboys, they have the 12th pick. So not only do they have a quarterback who's under a new contract, they have the 12th pick, which is out of the Shedeur Sanders range, barring a free fall in the NFL draft. So if they were to hire Deion Sanders, they know that he wants to coach his sons. So Shiloh's the easy one to get, right? You sign him as an undrafted free agent, or you take a You draft him in the 7th round, doesn't really matter. But Shedeur would be the hard one to get. You have to trade up, which means you're trading assets, which means your team's probably not going to be good. And then that angers guys like CeeDee Lamb, Micah Parsons. Are they going to want to hang around and be a part of a rebuild? I doubt it, right? You also have to deal with the fact that college coaches in the NFL don't work. I don't know what it is. It's a big adjustment. Cliff Kingsbury did not work. Nick Saban didn't work. Matt Rule didn't work. Urban Meyer didn't work. Pete Carroll worked, but he had NFL experience. So it's just one of those things where it's not as easy as just like, hey, I was really good at this in college, so I'm just going to stroll up here and be really good at this in the NFL. That's not how it works. It's yet to work that way, at least for most of the coaches. So I don't really understand where this hype and buzz is coming from. I know people sort of want this to be a thing. ESPN First Take has been praying that Deion Sanders leaves Colorado from the moment he took the job. Like Stephen A. Smith has said, oh, I wish he was at Texas A&M, or I wish he was at Bama. Just, I think yesterday, the day before, he ranked his top 5 candidate for the Cowboys job. Excuse me. I still have this nagging cough and it won't go away. It's super annoying. But Stephen A. Smith had Deion Sanders as a number 2 candidate for this job ahead of guys who were like legitimately like the top candidates in this NFL cycle. Like it's kind of wild the lengths that people will go to sort of try to pry him away from Boulder. But either way, I think a lot of people are reading too much into Shedeur being in Dallas. I think a lot of people are reading into this Dallas situation. It doesn't make sense right now, honestly. It wouldn't shock me if, say, it happened somewhere down the line, but Coach Prime has talked about motivating young men, taking young men to the next level, helping them follow their dreams. He said he does not want to follow his sons, and I think the opportunity to coach his sons, I think it's probably enticing, but is he really going to go back on every single thing he said? Like, some of the statements he's made have been so definitive. It'd be like, I'd be baffled if he went back on them. So it's just one of those things where if I'm Colorado, I'm really hoping that this doesn't happen, which is why he said they need to do something. But I don't think anything will happen. I think it's a game. I think the Sanders family, I think they're playing it quite well. When we come back, I'm going to be talking about Colorado's transfer portal needs because I still think there's some moves that can be made. This episode of Locked On Buffs is brought to you by our sponsors over at Rocket Money. Did Rocket Money help you find any subscriptions you forgot about or that you were paying for twice? That definitely happened to me. I had a few subscriptions that I didn't even realize I was still paying for. And Rocket Money made it so easy to track them all down. It's like having a personal assistant for your finances. Rocket Money is a personal finance app that helps find and cancel your unwanted subscriptions, monitors your spending, and helps you lower your bills so you can grow your savings. It brings everything together in one place, whether it's subscriptions, your spending habits, or even the goals you want to hit this year. Rocket Money has over 5 million users and has saved a total of $500 million in canceled subscriptions, saving members up to $740 a year when using all of the app's premium features. For me, one of the best features is a subscription tracker. I've used it to cancel services I wasn't using it anymore, and I've already saved a ton. Plus, with their goals feature, I've been able to automatically set aside money for my future, so no more stressing about budgeting every month. Cancel your unwanted subscriptions and reach your financial goals faster with Rocket Money. Go to rocketmoney.com/lockedon today. That's rocketmoney.com/lockedon. rocketmoney.com/lockedon. Transfer portal needs. Let's talk about it. This is Locked On Buffs. I'm Kevin Borba. Thank you for making me your first listen of the day. Free and available wherever you get your podcast. Make sure to like, subscribe, follow. Give me 5 stars wherever you listen to your podcast. Share this with a friend, and let me know that you shared it with a friend so that we could welcome that friend. Let's talk about it. Colorado currently has, I would say, a pretty good transfer portal class. I still feel like there's some needs that could be met, and the portal still is buzzing. There's a lot of talent out there, right? You don't want to miss out on talent if you don't have to. And I don't think Colorado should be missing out on talent. They have the number 18 transfer portal class in the country. I really like how they're hitting the offensive line. They have 4 offensive linemen that are transfers, which I think is a good sort of move considering the offensive line sucked again outside of a couple guys. I think they've hit linebacker well. I think they've hit the defensive back secondary decently. I would like another corner to come in just because I think replacing Travis Hunter is difficult. And even though Preston Hodge is coming back, I still feel like you need to bring in another corner. So that's my stance on that. Another corner wouldn't hurt. I would like to see more receiver talent. I know they have young guys coming in, but I'm not really loving a very young. They have Joseph Williams, the Conference USA, or not Conference USA, American Conference Player of the Year, MVP, or Freshman of the Year. I think he's going to be good. I think he brings a lot to the table. I know they have Amarion Miller, Draylon Miller, Mikel, all those guys, but I feel like they need more experience. And I don't know. I just don't feel confident in this group yet that they're ready to sort of be that next group of elite pass catchers for Colorado. I think when you have 4 NFL guys and you drop down to like a lot of youngsters with possibly a young quarterback. I mean, Caden Salter will probably start, but I just feel like they need more experience. I wouldn't be mad if they got another running back, honestly. If there's one out there that they think can make an impact. I think, obviously, Michael Welch had some injury issues. Dallin Hayden struggled this past year. Isaiah Augusta, he was pretty decent, but I don't think it hurts to bring in more. And then lastly, before I go, I wouldn't be mad at some more defensive linemen, right? I think the more size, the more disruptors you bring in, right? I like Jaheim Otis, I do. I think the better. And I feel like Colorado can still make some moves. So you guys comment below, what position does Colorado need to hit in the portal so that way they could take a step up from this past year and maybe contend for that Big 12 title. Let me know what you guys think. I appreciate you guys for tuning in every single day, making me your first listen of the day. We're free and available wherever you get your podcast. Make sure to like, subscribe, and follow. I will see you guys tomorrow.